My name is Mirko Vojnovic. I am from Santa Clara, California, and I am a victim of family court fraud. I used to be an engineer. I used to be a good engineer. I have 10 US patents approved and 2 pending. I have been working hard all my life. I came to this country as a young engineer, hoping that the only laws I would be dealing with would be the laws of physics. It did not turn out that way. On February 21st of 2012, my home of 20 years was sold on foreclosure auction. On April 17th, I was homeless. I was taken in by some friends, and today I am basically what they call hopping couches. I didn't lose my home because I made a bad business decision or a bad investment. I didn't lose my home because I was living a lavish lifestyle, or because I was drinking or gambling, or because I was doing drugs. I did not and do not do any of those things. I was robbed in the broad daylight by people who were sworn to abide by the law and to enforce the law. I did not allow them to take my daughter away from me. I won the battle for some time, but I lost everything else in the process. I lost my business. I had successful high-tech business, and I lost my home. And after I lost my home, 4 weeks later, they took my child away from me. That happened this June. In Santa Clara Family Court, I have been robbed by divorce attorneys who perjured themselves numerous times. I have been robbed by judges who are protecting those attorneys. I have been robbed by legal institutions and regulatory bodies who are protecting those judges and attorneys. In California, we are talking about the State Bar of California, to whom I had written, sent documents that were proof enough that the attorneys had perjured themselves in the court. Nothing transpired out of that complaint. Center for Judicial Performance, who are supposed to discipline judges who do not prosecute perjury or could deem that the perjury is not relevant in a case, like in case of Judge Neil Cabrinha, who is retired right now. Santa Clara DA's office, they didn't do anything. Supreme Court, I went all the way to the Supreme Court. They didn't do anything. Office of Tony Cantil Sacawea was involved. They just issued an en banc order that my case was dismissed. En banc means that 3 or 4 judges took place in making a decision. And to make such a decision without any explanation in just one sentence, that does not make sense. En banc is issued when things of public importance are being discussed. They did not care about explaining their decision. I also contacted General Attorney's Office, Kamala Harris. They didn't do anything about the local DA's office, who also failed to prosecute the perjury. Nobody cares. In one word, I have been robbed by cronies who infested our judicial system, and I'm not alone. But I decided not to be a silent victim. They did not take away my dignity. I, as everybody else, deserve my unalienable rights to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness without oppression. I conducted 2 hunger strikes in front of Santa Clara Family Court, during which time I have collected over 300 signatures from people who are coming in and out of that court, who want perjury to be stopped in family courts. And it's not only Santa Clara, it's all over California, it is all over the United States. Judges are not accountable for anything what they do. There is no real way that they can be made accountable. That opens the door for cronyism and corruption, because judges and attorneys have interest to make cases last as long as they can run people to pay for their services. Family divorces should not be treated as conflict, because conflict breeds conflict, and these people are encouraging conflict. They are inventing things. I have never in my life been insulted so much as by the opposing attorneys. I was made to be like an animal, like a dishonest person, like somebody who lies, like somebody who mistreats children. None of those things are true. But when you bring written proofs to the judge that these guys were inventing and they were lying, you know what they do? They declare that those attorneys' actions were a statement of opinion, but not a statement of fact. But they based their decisions on those opinions. So anybody can say whatever they want in a court, and nobody is responsible. When you point that out, and when you do not want them to get away with it, you know what they do? Sheriff comes your way. 2 other sheriffs enter the courtroom, and you're facing arrest. There's a time when you have to give up and say, okay, is it better for me to go to jail right now or be in the freedom to fight for another day? So far, I have been fighting always another day, and always bringing the fight back to them. And I will continue doing it. For me, for my child, for my child's future, she's being robbed of her childhood. This torture lasted and still lasts for 7 years now. I want to continue fighting, not only to help myself, but also to help other parents and other children who are in the same situation. Since I have finished some schools, basically I have a master's degree in electrical engineering, I am somewhat capable of doing simple calculations. I did research, which is very simple, and I will show people, on my website, how to do it. That in California only, and family courts only, we spend more than $3.8 billion in family courts on attorneys. And based on experience that I have, and many other people through organizations, because people are organizing themselves to fight this oppression, basically, or these criminal local gangs, that I would call them. Based on their impressions, at least 1/3 of those $3.8 billion is spent on attorneys playing games. That is $1.3 billion every year that has been taken away from California parents. What does it mean, $1.3 billion? If you take into account an average $250,000 per year tuition for college, we are denying around 10,000 children every year to reach higher education. And if we do that to our children, what is our future in this country. That's something it's worth fighting for.